Hello, Eagles fans! The atmosphere behind the scenes at the Philadelphia Eagles is heating up, and I have some important things to talk about with you today. We all know the Eagles are laser-focused on reaching the Super Bowl, and to make that happen, Nick Sirianni will need a high-caliber roster. I'm going to break it all down for you right now. But before we dive into it, make sure you've hit that like button if you're truly a loyal Philadelphia Eagles fan. And if you've been riding with the Birds for over 20 years, drop a comment. Go Eagles! My heart bleeds green and white. All right, let's get straight into it. There's smoke coming from the NovaCare complex, and it's not just from the grill at tailgate season. The trade winds are swirling, and at the center of it all is Dallas Goedert. Yes, you heard that right. Dallas Goedert, one of the top-paid tight ends in the league, a key piece of the Eagles' offense, could be on his way out. According to a recent report from NFL insider Jordan Schultz, Goedert is a name to watch on the trade market as we close in on the 2025 NFL Draft. Interested teams reportedly believe the Eagles might be open to moving him, not necessarily for 2025 picks, but for future draft capital. The context here is critical. Goedert is entering the final year of his contract. He's 30 years old, and he's got no guaranteed money left. His cap hit is just under $12 million, and he's due to make $15.5 million in cash this season. That's a hefty price tag for a player with an injury history and no long-term commitment from the team. And the signs have been there. The Eagles signed Harrison Bryant and Kylan Granson this offseason. They're clearly investing in depth at tight end. Grant Calcaterra filled in admirably last season when Goedert was out, and there's a real sense that Philadelphia is preparing for life after Dallas. To make things even more clear, listen to what came out of the NFL owners' meetings. Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, and Nick Sirianni talked about Goedert in the past tense. They practically gave him a verbal farewell. Sirianni even said, "Yeah, this is the business of the National Football League. It's hard not to feel the writing is on the wall. And look, this is an organization that pays its franchise pillars. Just last year, A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith got extended. This offseason, they locked up Landon Dickerson and Lane Johnson. Jordan Mailata got his deal, and Saquon Barkley got paid. Jalen Hurts is outperforming his contract and might get a restructure soon. So when the Eagles want to keep you, they do. And they haven't shown that same commitment to Dallas Goedert. Instead, the Eagles are likely looking to get younger and more affordable at the position. One name gaining buzz as a possible Goedert replacement? Mason Taylor from LSU. The Eagles reportedly really like him. He's a strong pass-catching tight end, has good hands, a big catch radius, and although he still needs to polish his blocking game, his upside is huge. He could be in play for the Eagles in the second round. Another name to watch is Thomas Fidone from Nebraska. Less polished, but intriguing. Now here's where things get really spicy. What if the Eagles flip Goedert for a defensive player? There's been chatter around a potential trade for Giants pass rusher Kayvon Thibodeau. That's right, a former top pick with legit upside.
He's in the final year of his deal, and if the Giants don't pick up his fifth-year option, that's a loud signal they might be done with him. Thibodeau's name has already been floated in trade talks, and if New York drafts Abdul Carter at number 3 overall, they might not need both Carter and Thibodeau, especially after paying Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence. Thibodeau is only 25, and in his second season, he had 11.5 sacks and 43 pressures. Last year, despite missing 5 games, he had 5.5 sacks and 38 pressures. That's solid production from a young edge rusher. He's physical, strong, and while he's not the twitchiest guy off the edge, he consistently disrupts the pocket. If the Giants let him walk or trade him, it's only because they feel they've got a better replacement in Abdul Carter. Now let's be real, a direct Goedert for Thibodeau trade seems unlikely. After all the drama surrounding Saquon Barkley joining the Eagles, it's hard to imagine New York doing business with Philly again so soon. But Thibodeau could still be a name to watch, especially if the Eagles decide to get aggressive in addressing the edge rusher position before or during the draft. And speaking of the draft, let's talk about Walter Nolan. There's growing steam around the possibility of the Eagles targeting him at pick 32. Nolan is a monster at defensive tackle. He brings burst, explosiveness, twitch, and raw power from the interior. He's not just a pass rusher, he's strong against the run and has that relentless motor you love to see, the kind that reminds you of Nolan Smith. This kid just loves football. He transferred from Texas A&M to Ole Miss and thrived last season. And here's the kicker. He was the #1 recruit in the nation coming out of high school. His college production may not have been flashy early on, but his potential is undeniable. The Eagles have already shown they're willing to take a chance on guys with high upside. Look at what they did with Jalen Carter. That's worked out beautifully. So if Walter Nolan falls to 32, you better believe Howie Roseman is going to be on the phone. It would be another another "Howie did it again" moment, just like last year. But I want to hear from you, Eagles Nation. What do you think about the possibility of Dallas Goedert being traded? Should the Eagles move on and get younger at tight end? And what about Kayvon Thibodeau? Would you take that gamble? Is Walter Nolan your dream pick at 32? Drop a comment and let me know. Go Eagles! We can make it to the Super Bowl. We're back for part 2, and this is where things get even more intense. If you thought the first half had drama, just wait, because the Eagles front office is playing chess while the rest of the NFL is stuck on checkers, and Howie Roseman might be cooking up one of the most aggressive draft strategies we've seen in years. So let's continue breaking it down, because there's one thing we know for sure. This team isn't just planning for 2025. They're thinking long-term domination, and part of that master plan might involve turning the page at tight end, shuffling pieces on the defensive line, and potentially stealing another draft gem while the rest of the league sleeps. Let's circle back to Walter Nolan. A guy like this falling to pick 32? That's rare air. His blend of power, burst, and tenacity is exactly the type of interior disruptor the Eagles love. Nolan's tape at Ole Miss showed flashes of brilliance. He attacks gaps, pushes the pocket from the inside, and he plays like a guy who's still just scratching the surface of what he can be. And yes, there are questions, some character concerns, multiple high schools and college transfers. But let's not forget, these same concerns surrounded Jalen Carter last year. Howie and the front office didn't blink then, and it paid off. Big time. If Nolan slips because other teams are scared off by background noise, the Eagles are uniquely positioned to capitalize. Their culture, their locker room leadership, and their coaching staff can bring the best out of a young, supremely talented player who just needs the right situation. Think about what happened with Carter, with Jordan Davis. This defensive line room is filled with guys who have the potential to dominate for the next decade. Adding Nolan to that group, that's not just a good pick, that's a foundation move, and that's exactly why the Eagles have kept their draft strategy so close to the vest. Don't be shocked if Philadelphia even trades up from 32 to make sure they don't miss on their guy. Whether it's Nolan or another high-ceiling prospect who starts to slip, this team is not going to sit still. They never do. But here's something else worth considering. All of this, the Goedert situation, the potential additions of young tight ends like Mason Taylor or Thomas Fidone, the edge rusher talk, and Nolan buzz. It's not happening in a vacuum. It's part of a broader shift that suggests the Eagles are transitioning to a new core, a younger, cheaper, more athletic group that will carry this team into the second half of the decade. They've already locked up A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith, Landon Dickerson, and Lane Johnson. Jalen Hurts is next. They've drafted Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, and Sidney Brown. Cam Jurgens is on deck for a new deal. Reed Blankenship could get paid soon. This front office is drawing a clear line.